Hello, and today what I'm going to show you how to make is an Irish soda bread. And this is in celebration of St. Patrick's Day coming up in just a few days. But again, you could always have this at any time of the year. This is going to be a relatively small loaf. I'm making half of a recipe. So if you're going to be serving more people, then I would say double of this. What I'm starting out with is 2 cups of spelt flour. To that, I'm going to add a half of a teaspoon of salt. And then a half of a teaspoon of baking soda. Now, one of the special ingredients in this particular loaf that I'm making is I'm going to be adding some seaweed. So I got some seaweed from the grocery store and I soaked it in water and then let it dry out a little bit and cut it up. So I figured that would be nice to have some little bits of emerald glistening through the bread. So we're going to add that. Another common ingredient that people would add would be currants. So you often see like little currants in the bread. But again, I figured green would be great for St. Patrick's Day. Now, in order to mix this bread up, I'm going to be using some buttermilk. I'm going to be adding about 3/4 of a cup of buttermilk to this. And then from there, it's really just mixing it and making sure that it's the right consistency. I'm going to use my hands. Okay, so you can see that indeed this is quite a small loaf. It's really perfect for one person or one or two people. Again, if you are going to be serving more than yourself, I would say just double this recipe. I have my oven preheated at 390 degrees Fahrenheit. And so I'm going to put this loaf in, and I'm going to check it probably after 15 minutes just to see where it is, and then go from there. So here we have it. This is how small the loaf is. I think this is great for 1 or 2 days for me. And it does have a subtle smell of seaweed and that soda smell that you would expect from a bread like this. So initially, I was planning to bake this bread for about 15 minutes, and I ended up baking it for closer to 30 minutes. I would say check, at 15 minutes and see what it's like in your oven. But, the final result should be something that is, clearly sturdy, something that you can cut. You should have this kind of hollow sound when you knock on it. I want to give it a try. The seaweed definitely comes through. Again, if you're not like a big seaweed fan, you might want to think of alternatives to seaweed, but I do think that having seaweed in bread does offer a unique experience. So I highly recommend. I hope that you found this recipe interesting, or at least at the bare minimum accessible. We only took a handful of ingredients. I want to say there's certainly less than 6 ingredients that we used today to create a very simple but tasty bread. This bread would be great with just butter or jam, however you want to use it, go for it. I really appreciate when you share my content, when you comment on my videos, when you like, when you subscribe. So please continue to help me build this brand, and I will see you guys next time.